Hey guys, I really don't know what is going on with the parakeet hair. Okay, well, parakeet or not to parakeet, we gotta go live and talk this astrology because, yeah, I'm feeling like I just want to extrapolate a little bit more about what is going on with this particular transit, because I'm gonna be honest, I haven't been out during a planetary shift at 0 degrees for a long time. This is one of the first times I was actually out when a planet shifted out of 29 and into Zenith. And guys, I mean, the energy is like very strange out there. Yeah. And I want you guys to share as well, like your feedback here. Definitely. Hey guys, welcome. And okay, Kristen. Yeah, I would really, please share, because I mean, yeah, there are moments where DC, obviously, like, my guides keep me indoors. Oh, guy was like, you're not gonna be going out today. Alright, it's just gonna be way too kooky. I mean, you can, but, you know, it's just, there's moments when you're just like, you feel like you don't want to be out there. And I feel like, yeah, let's clear. Usually that is, the frenetic times are when, planets go to 0 degrees. And sometimes, and, personally for myself, like, I found that more as I become more and more sensitive to energy, I tend to want to avoid large groups of people when everyone is just having their clearing, because Venus at 29, Venus at 0 is like, that's right when, and most people are not really like aware of astrology, right? If we were to walk outside in the middle of any big, metropolitan city, or really, I guess, you take it as you will. I mean, if you're in like a pagan town, all right, but like a major metropolitan city, like you're not going to be hearing people talk about how, they want to like go home and meditate because it's, the turn of the new season. Okay, with Venus, it's like they're usually not going to be so it gets crazy, and people are very triggered sometimes as well. Now, Venus at 0 of Pisces is especially like disorienting, because Pisces is all about Neptune, no boundaries. It rules illusion. So personally, I found that, but it was like really ever since I got here, like I'm feeling, even you guys, like when I got on the bus to go from New York to DC, to go from New York to, because I went from DC to New York, and then I went from New York to DC. What? We keep saying that. What are we saying? That DC's coming along for the ride? Well, you take it as you will. We did say that in another Astro Chat channeled. It was a whole thing, very interesting. It was like a whole saga telenovela. Someone going from DC to literally Salem. I didn't quite make it to Salem though yet. We'll see. Whatever's meant to be. But no, I went from DC to New York, and then I went from New York to Boston, and even the bus ride, guys, like the vibe was so different, and so the Commons is really beautiful, right, Kristen? Wow. Yeah, well, it's a lot of chaos. Yes, right, Christina. It can definitely be a lot of chaos, and but Venus in Pisces is also kind of like a point where, personally, I'm realizing, like, I'm not triggered by what I'm seeing, because I'm seeing a lot of, like, both sides now. It's not just like, wow, this person's being an absolute asshole, let me see what I did. No, you didn't do anything. I'm hearing that. Okay, this is more like they're being a party ass pooper, because they realize that you've ascended and you're not phased by so this is on an energetic level, but I'm like not even joking when I'm saying I literally, it's like wherever I go, and no matter where it is, no, it's like, okay, you go to the supermarket, you go to the the hair salon, you go to the the shop, you want to buy something, whatever it is, like the people working there, it's like they're certified reptilians, like they're employed to be like emitting some strange frequency, and I'm really seeing it like that, and it's like to the point where it's kind of interesting. I'm sure like spirit will be giving more down low when we do return to DC. Now we're switching it. Now we're saying DC, Boston, DC. It's kind of interesting. That's quite, yeah. Well, we are bringing the conversation. It's like, but it's a little bit of like, yeah, you got to go with the program. Like, this is a little bit embarrassing. Like the people who are, and it's not necessarily representation of Boston itself, I guess, but everything is whatever it is. This is more like even people who, it's just people who are here. Okay, like, how do we say this? Like, even people who are not, like, maybe born and bred Bostonian, it doesn't even matter what it is. It's like, they could be walk-ins for all we know, right? I mean, they're literally just emitters of a certain frequency. And I'm just like, wow. And so I've had to get kind of like just chopped with that. And yeah, because this tells me that they have a very strong, energy grid going on here that is not in the light. And it's real. And I can say that, okay? And yes, I can say that. I mean, for that to it's like they don't like when you're on their turf. Let's clear it. But this makes me think, like, do any lightworkers live in Boston? I mean, of course they do. But, I mean, I'm just, like, curious. Like, can you give your... Yeah, because... I guess, like, whatever's meant to be, like, you know, you're meant to... This is where you do your grid work. Yeah, I mean, but... Personally, I wonder what Spirit is doing with that, because, like, with this whole pandemic, everyone has been sort of in lockdown, right? They've been in their places, so-called. Someone brought this to attention. Was it A Heart Made Wise? A Heart Wise? Something like that? She said this a way back when it was, like, during the pandemic. I was like, guys, like, I feel like I need to move, but I'm not moving, like, I'm still here. It's like... I'm in the city, and I've been here, and my guys have had me in DC for a period of time. And I know that because they communicated that to me. Yeah, but she said something along the lines of, we are definitely here. Like, it's for a reason. We've all been sort of, placed very strategically during this pandemic. So, yeah, with the light work that we're doing, with the light work, and specifically our place with the grid that we're working with when it comes to our light work. So, it's all, like, intentional. But I'm just, like, wondering, like, whoa, I'm telling you, like, even just the difference between, you know, technically DC is, like, I mean, even, like, so-called super, but it's changed. So, can you, give your feedback if you do feel like you... Interesting, Kristen. I mean, like, Kristen, it's like to the point where I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, I feel like a lot of, I don't know. I wonder if, like, they're getting funneled out into certain, but, anyways. On another note, how are you guys feeling with the Venus at 0? I always say, you know, wait a few days because, clear it on the right side of the body. Give it a few days. Yeah, if you're feeling like the energy's frenetic, it's almost like a Uranian type of Uranus energy, like, what's going on? Yeah, just wait a few days until we have Venus streamlining. For some of you though, like, I cannot lie, guys, like, I feel like it's one of those moments where, like, you won the award, you got some sort of, like, even, like, stage gift. I hear it like this. And meanwhile to that, like, you're feeling this, like, weird vibe, and it is just what it is. Like, there are people who made decisions that were in the light, and there are people who are, I mean, it's like anyone who wins, let's say, people should be happy for each other, but I mean, there are people who maybe are so-called jealous, but it's like, what is the point of that? What is the point of jealousy? We're talking on an energy level, like, reptilians being jealous of light workers. This is the feeling I'm getting. And it's like, well, you know, I mean, no, there's none of that, but that's just the response. Let's clear on the throat chakra. They're triggered. They're super, super triggered. And, yeah. On the throat chakra. And we said this. Spirit gave the warning, the heads up. Like, it was earlier in the week. Like, you're going to be hearing that, yeah, people, it was in that one Astro Chat where there was a vision of Spirit hooking onto a star and our guides. And, you know, yeah, so we're on the train in space. Very interesting. So, yeah, I mean, we cannot feel bad. I mean, it is what it is. There's no guilt. And, yeah, so let's clear it. But right now is definitely a point of a massive karma, massive clearing, a massive karma, because Venus as well was in Aquarius, right? Aquarius went through a lot of trouble. It did. It was not a good look for Aquarius energy. We're not talking sun sign Aquarius, just the Aquarius frequency and archetype. Yeah, back when we were having the really super duper karmic, it was a year ago, about a year ago, with the conjunction of Saturn and Jupiter and moving into the age of Aquarius. There was a lot going on there, and this was right around the time of the witch trials, right? The transit was parallel to the transits that were. And now finally we have cleared, and so yeah, we have ascended, okay? And that's a decision that we made as a collective. And so this is the last phasing out, right, of these planets that were involved in that cycle of what went down in the last year. Well, it's cleared in the throat chakra, yeah, but it's like this weird pinny energy. Like, it's to the point where I'm telling you guys, like, and I'm not like, it's not about like, this is not about drama, making drama. This is about just like straight up like honesty. Like, I'm shocked because my recollection of DC, I'm hearing Indiana. I keep saying DC. My recollection of Boston was like, wow, I had so much fun there, and it was like such a beautiful city, and like it was so, but there's always, I guess, shifts, But like, I was freaking shocked. It's like practically like absolutely like anything. I want to go and get like an ice cream, okay, from like this place, and it's like the lady is like completely. I mean, it's just I don't know. They're so they're gonna be basically irrelevant, guys, like these frequencies. And I mean, it's to the point, like, I wonder, do you guys feel guided to like move? Where are you guys feeling guided to like, or stay where you are, or what are you feeling? Because let's clear in the throat chakra. Woo. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, there's a reason why we are where we're at, and I agree with whoever said that in the last video. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the Gemini reading, Sarah Rose. I don't know. Something is, I saw it. It was like glitching. So at the end, but that was the end of the video. So technically, oh, you can't rewatch? Really? That's very strange. It'll eventually phase out. Yeah, with the glitches, and it'll come back on. So, yeah, we were saying, do you guys feel like guided to like stay where you're at, where you've been, or are you feeling more like you want to shift? And how many of you you're actively like aware that you're doing light work on the grid? Like, how many of you, some people are very like, they're super, they know it's like, why they're where they're at, like why they're, if they're traveling, why they're traveling, maybe they even have a plan like on where they want to go to do their grid work, or they are kind of like even actually studying grid work. Interesting, I'm hearing that. Working with a specialist to do grid work. Wow, that sounds kind of like astrocartography. So but also working with their light work in a strategic way. So how many of you like know exactly like, I'm just curious. Like, they know why they're in the city they're in, or the place they're in. Oh, Hannah, okay, so tell us more. Hannah says, just moved and it feels so different. So can you tell us more, like, and where, if you don't mind, like in the public chat, where you were at and like where you moved and like what the vibe is? And is anybody in a big city? Like, metropolitan city? And maybe, yeah. Well, yeah, I'm just curious. Let's see. Interesting, Damaris. Interesting. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like intentional, and like I'm realizing more and more like, okay, there's a reason definitely for the places that we choose to settle in, so called. Oh, you're in the LA area, Kristen? Wow. I don't know what it is. I just feel completely like want to avoid LA for whatever reason. But this is maybe with my personal birth chart, the plans that the guides have. Oh, interesting, Cheryl. Oh. A lot of people from California. Interesting. Tanima, you're in NYC. And how is that? And have you been there for a while? For a while now? Or is it something like recent? And if you feel comfortable sharing, like, has it changed much? It's clearing around in the virtual. Yeah, something very sad, Askin Love. Yeah, I felt that too. It's kind of like you can't, you can't like, not, but there's a lot of clearing taking place. I mean, I wonder, like, historically what these transits would align with. Interesting. Okay, I see Tanima. Interesting. Tanima? Tanima? Interesting. So, yeah, I think, like, like, and that's kind of what I'm picking up on, like, I don't feel like I want to be here, if that makes sense. But I already kind of felt that. I mean, this is just, yeah. Like, I've been starting to realize, like, more and more that, yeah, there's a reason why I'm in DC, so... Interesting. Oh, wow. Saudi Arabia. Wow. What about Dubai? Anybody live in Dubai? Or, I guess you were close, right, Sarah? I can imagine. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's interesting, because even, like, with astrocartography, like, if you have certain lines running through certain countries or however, it's like you don't need to technically move there to experience the energy in that place. They say that you could even interact with people who are from there, and like you'll have that, that sort of energy come up. So interesting. What do you think about Dubai? I've had so many dreams of Dubai for some reason, so it's interesting. This, like, what do you think is going to happen to these big cities? Because what do you think? Because this is really like something, right? She says, I think we are evolving slowly from cities to tribal commune, earth-based living. So, like, places like, New York and Boston and DC and, however, what do you think about, Kristen says great airport in Dubai. Oh, interesting. Okay, Sarah says dark energy in Dubai. Reptilian energies. Oh, man. That's what I'm starting to feel, Surfing Maui Girl. Yeah. Let's clear it around. Yeah. It's like something ain't right. You know, it's like something like this. Like something is crumbling. And I mean, this has been coming through in the readings. Like the Machiavellian forces at play. It's like maybe it's not, maybe it's, you know what? Maybe it's, I don't know. Well, I mean, because, yeah, I don't know. I have to meditate on this a bit, reflect on this. Um, oh my goodness, Kristen. I feel like I would not be able to do that. I feel like, yeah, I would not, yeah. Interesting. Cheryl says, agreed. She says, I live by Chicago. Agreed. Live by Chicago and was going to move there, but energy was so heavy. I have been, for some reason, getting so, like, Spirit has been bringing my attention to Chicago time and time and time again, and I'm like, what is going on, you know? It's interesting. Something about Chicago. Really, Tanima? Really? So you feel this about NYC? Says it's really sad the memory of the city is left, but the actual energy is gone. I feel you. That is literally what I'm feeling. I'm feeling that. It's like I feel people have like disappeared. It's like, what's going on? Like real people with like, but I don't know what that's about. Like, I don't feel I'm talking to real people when I'm talking. Like, I feel they're all walk-ins. I'm not kidding. Like, to feel more connected, I don't know. Maybe it's just my expectation. Like, but this is a reason why maybe I came here, so that I could realize that. That is right, Tanima. So, interesting. I feel like I want to do like a dissertation on this, like a city analysis, and like kind of just get like opinions, and like, because I'm curious, like people who have lived in like all these different cities. Like, I mean, you know, this is not the same. Something is, yeah. Like, I wonder, really, Jamaris? So, what is, like, how did you feel that that was a walk in? Like, what were the markers for you? Hey, Logan. Hey, you live in New York, right, Logan? Why are you scribbling that on the chat? Live chat! Well, I think you mentioned it in another live chat, but hey, well, if you're uncomfortable with that, no, yeah. Maybe, yeah. Alright, so I said it in one chat. It's like, don't care. Alright, but Logan, real talk. How do you feel about New York? Like, yeah. I mean, I feel like parts of Earth are like, it's like organs in the body, and like, yeah. So there's some serious stagnation in certain, you know, like in Ayurvedic medicine, they talk about how stagnation, even like Tai Chi and or the Taoism, they talk about how you don't want stagnancy, right? So, and I feel like that's what it is. It's like a stagnation. Um, I wonder when it comes to the actual overlay of the grid on Earth, right? Because there are certain parts of the earth that have a very strong, it's like a chakra system, a very strong connection here, and also to source. Interesting. That's kind of virtual. Yeah, um it's like there's not enough oxygen here, but like and energetically, if that makes sense. So I see Logan. Haunted. Let me tell you, when I first moved to DC, oh my guys, it was haunted. Oh my goodness. It was, I could feel spirits like try to, yeah, I mean, I had trouble walking down certain streets. Like I couldn't even, yeah, I mean, it was like such a thick web. We've talked about this. Yeah. The flow is not happening for some reason. And I gotta be honest, like, and this is coming from, I love Boston, like the architecture is so beautiful, like everything, but then it's like, but like let's look at it really, like there's some kind of something. But yeah, I mean, if you live in Boston, feel free to share. Let's clear the throat chakra. Something about LA, also super, but it's something, I don't know. Yeah. Interesting, Ruby. That's like what I'm feeling, you know? It's like something. So I feel like, yeah, this is important. Well, it is what it is. Like, but there's a reason why, yeah, we are where we're at, and to be there for a period of time, it's like we need to really rehabilitate that part of Earth. So let's clear throat chakra, and that's part of like why I stayed in DC, because the energy changed, it shifted, and so did I. It was a lot of transformation, yeah. So, I feel like if you're meant to be somewhere, yeah, there's a reason. Oh my goodness, been trapped in LA? Oh dear. Yeah, I was in LA for a period of time, and then my guides like kicked me out of LA. They're like, all right, that's it. It's done. It's like they just freaking like uprooted me. I was not even planning on going to DC. Like my sister went to school there. I was visiting her. My real plan was to move back to New York. And I was like visiting her, and I'm like, all right, maybe I'll be in her city. It's like kind of like similar to New York, it's kind of close-ish to New York. I can visit. It's starting, sort of like on my own here, so called, sort of like an independent journey. Just the beginning of starting my life like as a solo, yeah. And let's go into our chakra. This is the first time that I was like self-employed, working for myself and living on my own. So I was like, maybe instead of going straight to New York, I'll like start in DC. And that's what I did. But I wasn't like, it wasn't the kind of thing where I'm like, oh my gosh, yeah, like this is exactly where I want to be at. you know? Really, Ace can love? Wow, very interesting. Your therapist. Wow. Wow, interesting. Yeah. So, um, but that was a kind of an abrupt, yeah, but I could feel like the karma. Okay, like moving out, like, yeah. But I did it. I was like, I don't want to be in LA, and I know that. And it was like really time, like I just needed to kind of be self-sufficient in a way, even if it wasn't like, so but it was very hard, guys. Like DC was super uncomfortable at first in some ways. I felt a little bit similar to how I feel now, kind of, okay, but over time, like especially with the energies and like, yeah. But DC is a little lighter now. They're definitely, I have to do heavy grid work still in DC. I mean, yeah. um let's clear it down the right side of the body. Maybe one time we'll talk. We'll when we get back, we'll talk about like more in depth. Interesting. Is there seriously? Oh my goodness. Maybe it's this, well, if you're easily triggered and you follow the news and you're very into the news, then maybe it's time to check out. And it's, yeah. Because, yeah. Is there really a fourth booster? Maybe that's, I don't know. Like, I feel like there's this weird vibe. But I feel like, well, yeah, I don't know, guys. Nova Scotia. Interesting. That's been coming through in the readings, actually. Yeah. It's about the choices, right? I guess it's like, but I mean, it's like, bro, like the fourth booster, like, I mean, that's, yeah. No, like, I mean, you're turning into like a GMO fruit. I mean, this is what I'm kind of feeling. I don't know, guys. Like, I have a vibe about that, but you take it as you will. I have, yeah, whoever's meant to do what, you're gonna do it. So you can do whatever you think is right? Yeah. You should always make a decision, yeah, based on what you really think is correct for yourself. But, yeah, I feel like, yeah, it's a lot of clearing, and so... The thing about DC is, like, I've actively... I feel like my guides definitely have wanted me there. I'm reading your comment, and me, like... And that was part of it. Like, I legitimately was gonna leave. Like, it got to the point where I'm like, what am I doing here? Okay, like, no, because I'm not into politics. It's just not, I'm not, yeah. And honestly, like, I visited DC many times. Like, I even applied to colleges here. I was, like, checking colleges out, and I was like, yeah, I never click with the city. Okay, yeah, that's clear. And I'm here in Japan. I don't know, like, be a particular message or something. I never really click with the city. And, but the funny thing is that I click with Boston. I loved Boston, okay? Yeah, I went to school there. It was to the point I knew I wanted to go to school there. And this, we talked about this before. I love New York, visited New York, worked in New York. Yeah, but it's like never click with DC, and never had this feeling of like, oh my god, that's where I want to be at. And then it's like I literally was like flung, and like, yeah, I was flung here. So, and I was working with my guides on this. Like, I knew, like, there's something going on. Like there's a reason why. If my phone goes dark, there's also a reason why. It's because the phone is dying. So, yeah, like... Yeah, and I even asked, like, my guys, this was prior pandemic. I'm like, okay, so am I gonna, like, should I move? And then my guys came through. They were like, don't move until at least April if you are. And that's when the lockdown took place. So it's kind of at the point now where I'm like, yeah. And then over time, I'm like, I realized the grid work. Yeah, that's good. And then they were starting to talk about, yeah, more so the reptilians and such. And it just started to get really obvious, you know? Yeah. And having visited Boston now, I'm just like, what? Like, I cannot imagine myself. I was considering, like, what if I moved to Boston? Oh, no. I'm sorry. But you never know. I mean, whatever your guides, you know, whatever's meant to be will just sort of happen, you know, as well. And you have to, yeah, listen to your intuition with that. And, and it's funny because people, like, being in DC, people, they try to kick me out. Okay, yeah, they've tried, it's the same sort of bullshit. It's like, why are you trying to, like, yeah, but these are the trolls. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, the stalkers in Boston, they're trying to yeah, because they know. No, we're doing our light work there, okay? Yeah, this is yeah, straight up. This is where we're doing it, whether you like it or not, okay? Yeah, and so, um, but I just wonder like yeah. So let's clear the throat chakra. Anyways, guys, I feel like Spirit wants to talk more about this like at a later point in time, maybe when we're back in DC. Good night, T Lance, artist. But yeah, definitely also look at your astrocartography. Like, there's so much at play. I would definitely look at astrocartography before visiting a place for sure as well. But you always take it as you will. Of course, it's not necessary, but I find it to be very interesting. Like, interestingly enough, in fact, my descendant, let's go into our chakra. My Mars descendant line goes straight through Boston, and so anyways, guys, yeah, take it with a grain of salt, but definitely, yeah, look at your birth chart. I hope this was helpful, just sort of like a little chat about also Venus at 0. Try to just kind of stay grounded during this time, guys, and we'll see you in the next videos, and try to sort of see, you know, how can I take this energy of mine that is really about my personal sort of so-called magic, okay, my inner sort of reservoir of creative talents, and really apply that in a way that serves me and others, and where there is no sort of need to also ensure that others understand what I'm doing. I'm hearing that with my gifts, and also appreciate what I'm doing, right? It's not about yeah, needing approval, okay, and needing to feel that others really support you in that space. No, it's not about people, you know, seeing what you're doing, okay? This is about you being honest with yourself and saying, I'm not doing this for anyone. It's not a conditional thing, and that doesn't make you selfish. It means that you're being authentic, right? There's a very big difference between, let's say, yeah, like, oh, I'm not giving a hoot or holler or a damn about if this is something that is going to be the best for all, okay? And yeah, there's a very big difference between that and doing what's best and according to the way that I feel I need to do it in my way to do what is best, you know? So it's about kind of like letting go of the conditions of also how other people perceive of success. I'm hearing that, and what is also so-called right. So it's about really empowering your throat chakra, you guys. Thank you for tuning in, and yeah, your overall sort of, you know, your story, and really just sort of calling it out